Have you ever been in one of those high-pressure situations and just completely choked? I mean, it could be in sports, giving a presentation, even just a tough conversation. That feeling of your brain just freezing up, it's universal. Well, what if I told you that the key to unlocking your peak performance isn't about trying harder? It's actually about understanding how to use your brain a little differently. Okay, let's get into it. So picture a baseball player who's in a slump. They step up to the plate and instead of just, reacting to the pitch, their head is just filled with noise. I gotta get a hit. Keep your elbow up. Don't strike out again. They're so stuck inside their own head, they literally can't perform a skill they've practiced thousands and thousands of times. It's that classic performance anxiety, and it all boils down to a conflict happening between two parts of your mind. You see, the answer to this whole problem is realizing we have two very different systems running the show. Two distinct brains, if you will, that operate in completely opposite ways. And figuring out when to use each one, well, that's the secret to getting out of your own way and just letting your skills shine. So first up, let's just name the villain of our story here. It's overthinking. This is that state where we're consciously trying to control every little detail of what we're doing, and ironically, that's the very thing that makes it all fall apart. Just think about that overthinking brain in action for a second. That batter, he's not watching the ball, he's obsessing over his stats from the last 7 games. And the catcher, she's not focused on the target, she's completely consumed by the fear of making a mistake. In both cases, their focus has shifted inward, to conscious analysis, to mechanics, and all those negative what-ifs. This is pretty much where peak performance goes to. Okay, so to solve this, we need a simple model. Let's break the brain down into 2 key players, what we'll call the front brain and the hind brain. Getting to know how each of these works is the first step toward actually controlling them. So on one side, you've got your front brain. This is your conscious, analytical mind. It's the part of you that thinks in words and full sentences. Then, on the other side, you have your hind brain, and this is where knowing lives. Now, I'm not talking about book smarts here, but that deep, intuitive knowledge that only comes from pure experience and tons of repetition. And let's be super clear about what this knowing really means. It has nothing to do with your IQ. It's basically the autopilot that takes over for skills you've practiced so much they're second nature, right? You don't have to think about how to walk or how to ride a bike. Your hind brain just knows. It's muscle memory, instinct, and intuition all rolled into one powerful packet. All right, now for the main event. Let's put these 2 brains head to head and see just how differently they operate. This comparison is going to make it crystal clear why one is built for performance and the other one, well, not so much. First up is how they process things. Your front brain is totally conscious. You're fully aware of it because you can hear that inner monologue, right? That voice in your head that's always debating, worrying, and analyzing. But your hind brain, it's completely unconscious. It's running all these complex operations, like keeping you balanced while you walk, and you have no idea it's even happening. It's totally silent and automatic. Next, let's talk language. The front brain speaks in words and sentences. It processes information verbally, one single thought at a time. The hind brain, though, it operates on a whole different level. It uses images, feelings, and pure muscle memory. It doesn't need words. It works with pictures and physical sensations, which, as you can imagine, is a much, much faster way to communicate. And this difference also shows up in their whole approach. The front brain is analytical. It absolutely loves to break things down into tiny individual pieces. Think of it like a 100-piece puzzle, where the front brain is just staring at one single piece at a time. The hind brain is the complete opposite. It's a master coordinator. It sees the picture on the puzzle box. It takes all those individual pieces and just seamlessly fits them together into the whole picture. And all of this leads to the most crucial difference of all, speed. Because the front brain thinks in sentences, it's glacially slow. I mean, it can only process one single thought at a time. The hind brain, on the other hand, working in images and feelings, operates at split-second speeds. In any fast-paced activity, this difference is everything. It's the difference between success and failure. Okay, to really feel this difference, let's use a perfect, simple example. Imagine someone suddenly tosses a ball to you. Let's see how each brain would handle that situation. So if your front brain were in charge, a whole committee meeting would suddenly start in your head. It'd go through this long, painful checklist. Oh, a ball's coming, left hand or right hand, don't drop it, everyone's watching. Okay, lay the wrist back, spread the fingers. And by the time it finishes that internal debate, the ball has already sailed past you, or worse, hit you in the face. And the hind brain? It doesn't say a single word. It just reacts. It calculates the trajectory, the speed, the timing, all in an instant. And it coordinates your body to be in the right place at the right time.
It just catches the ball. No thought, no words, just pure fluid action. That's the power we want to tap into.
So you might be thinking, if the hindbrain is so great, why do we even have a front brain? Well, it's not the enemy all the time. The key, as we're about to see, is knowing the right tool for the right job.
Here's the deal. Your front brain is absolutely essential for learning. When you're in practice, when you're analyzing your technique and trying to acquire a new skill, you need that slow, conscious, step-by-step approach. But once the game starts, it's performance time. That's when you need to switch off the analysis and let the hindbrain take over to execute those skills instinctively.
The real problem happens when we get the timing all wrong. Think about a coach who's constantly yelling technical advice during the game. Now, the advice itself might be totally correct, but by delivering it in the heat of the moment, he's forcing his players out of their fast hindbrain and back into their slow, analytical front brain. He's trying to teach when he should be letting them perform.
The legendary baseball catcher Yogi Berra really put it best. A full mind is an empty bat. You know, if you step up to the plate and your mind is full of thoughts about mechanics, stats, or fear, you're not leaving any room for your hindbrain to do its job. Your performance is just going to come up empty.
Okay, so this brings us to the most important part of all. We get the difference, we know when to use each brain, but how do we actually do it? How do we quiet that noisy front brain and consciously activate that powerful, silent hindbrain when it really counts?
This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's the key that unlocks absolutely everything we've been talking about. And you know what? The answer is surprisingly simple, though. It's not always easy to put into practice. The entire secret comes down to one simple thing: controlling your focus of concentration. Think of your focus like a light switch. When you focus inward, on your thoughts, your technique, your worries, you're flipping on the slow, analytical front brain. But when you focus outward, on the baseball, on the finish line, on the catcher's mitt, and just trust your training, you flip the switch to your fast, intuitive hindbrain. You control which brain is in charge by controlling where you put your concentration. So when you see an athlete, or maybe even yourself, struggling, it is almost always a symptom of a misplaced focus. Their concentration is just in the wrong place. The first step to fixing it is simply to become aware of it. Ask yourself, am I in my head right now, or am I focused externally on the task at hand? Just asking that question gives you the power to consciously shift your focus back to where it belongs. And really, this model goes way beyond just sports. Think about a difficult conversation you have to have, or a creative project you're working on, or even just driving your car. In what areas of your own life are you letting your slow, analytical front brain get in the way, when you really should be trusting your well-practiced intuitive hindbrain? It's something to think about.